So let's jump to the game, the analysis of Tasteless game, Undead versus Nightelf on Last Refuge. And what is, can I actually, yeah, okay, I can actually watch from the perspective of two players. And the first thing that happens in that game, obviously, right? When we just look at the entire game, we have to always understand what kind of map are we playing. And from what I've been teaching Tasteless to play on Last Refuge against, I think, both Nightelf. I mean, against Nightelf is a little bit different build than we're playing against orcs, humans, or undeads. But let's just focus on Undead versus Nightelf. And what is the build? The build for Tasteless is to do Tier 2 expansion with Gargoyle Harass. It's not a standard strategy, it's the one I used to play back in the days. I mean, back in the days, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago when I was active. And in my regard, it's extremely powerful strategy. It is some night elves, they can counter it, they need to know about it, they need to scout it. If they kind of ignore what you're doing, they can get punished, especially with the gargoyle harass. But the idea is simple. The entire early game is get level 2, get aggressive, just try to slow down Nightelf a little bit, slow down his creeping, kill maybe some archers, just be annoying, because a lot of Night Elves, they like to be really greedy with creeping, so that's one thing, and then expanding before tier 2 or during tier 2. So our early game job is first secure level 2, second thing, get aggressive and slow down Nightelf. So I will show how the correct gameplay should look like, and we'll see how Tasteless is executing it. So the first thing, obviously we know we open with Altar, Crypt, and we make 4th Acolyte. And so far Tasteless is doing it okay, right? He's going to move to the 2nd Ziggurat. I will speed up a little bit because it's just base build. And now the next step is obviously filling up the 5th Acolyte. And what Tasteless you always forget, and what Tasteless always forgets, or most of the time forgets, is making the 6th Acolyte. And now is the time, queue up double Acolyte, because you want 6 Acolyte, the 6th Acolyte makes the shop and goes for the scout. We want to confirm on basically every level of play, whether it be low MMR, mid MMR, high MMR, scout Nightelf, confirm his hero, especially with this strat, because this strat has to be flexible. We need to adjust the gameplay against Warden, right? I don't want lower MMR players to focus on one base, triple hero, tier 3 strategy against Warden, since it can get a little bit annoying with the Warden harass, and I think it's much simpler just to try to end the game much faster than that. So far, yeah, Tasteless unfortunately is missing the Acolyte. He should always remember about making 6 Acolyte only in the case against Nightelf. So the goal also with creeping on Last Refuge is to get this green dot, which is this creep, into easy Murloc camp. So I'm gonna see how Tasteless is improving in his creep routes, and especially creeping. I know he forgot about the mechanic of changing the aggro on the unit and kind of not using the coils enough. So hopefully Tasteless, you're gonna see that small mistake. I will focus on every single aspect of the game, of every single mistake that there is happening, even though you might not be able to fix everything, but at least you will be aware of how a correct gameplay should look like. So far, abstracting from that missing Acolyte, and you need to confirm that what hero is this. As you can see, Night Elves, they like to creep with Ancient of War, which speeds up the creeping. They can go immediately from that into the Murlocs, and it just speeds up. They're gonna be always faster than you, right? So you want to be kind of aware of what is happening. So, okay, it's good. He sells TP, right? Gets dust, gets rod, that's correct. You can pick up easily you can pick up 3 to 4 ghouls, as you can see. We want to, as well with this strategy, when you sell TP, you queued up 1 ghoul. And this is when we actually want to stop producing ghouls, because we want to tech to tier 2 on 22 supply. We want to make this as fast as possible. And even with pulling, you can see, you have already 208 wood, right? So even pulling 4 ghouls is good enough because this one ghoul will bring 20 necessary wood for tech, which is obviously 210, right? So you can even just pass back the ghouls back and just tech right now whenever you have gold. But the goal of tier 2 expansion is to have the tier 2 as fast as possible, because we don't want to delay the timing with the expansion. So Tasteless goes for the ship, that's good, and I want him to coil now. Yeah, and this is the thing I taught him, and he has to start doing this because his army is splitted. He will take a lot of damage. He has to gather his ghouls behind the decay with the skeletons behind the decay and pull the creep. Use coil. I taught him that mechanic. He has to start utilizing this mechanic. It will help creeping a lot. But now skeletons will take damage. Still no vision on the enemy. He's creeping and he is not teching. He's still producing ghouls. He should be teching already. 22 supply, tech, then restart production of ghouls. Get 2 additional ghouls for 26 max supply, 2630, and that's it. That's what we want to have. I actually think that I could have had a better observer mode in that game. Honestly, I'm using a classic one, I think. But again, oh yes, another mistake. We want to secure level 2, and Tasteless is not following a step. The first, he's not taking fast enough, and the second one, he's not taking the murlocs for level 2. So, okay, he changed the movement. Okay, I take back, you change your pathing, you go, but again, you need to pull the creep, because this Murloc, he's a poison one, he will deal a lot of damage. Use coil, you'll use the body of Death Knight, try to pull that creep, but the good thing is that he's focusing the Nightcrawler. This is a really good, he still surrounded him, so that's efficient creeping, but still I would love to see some pulling with his decay, with coils, and it will be beautiful. Another mistake, as you can see, the strategy is to stop ghoul production at 2630 supply. So with this strat, you cannot go over that. You will be short on supply to produce 6 gargoyles, which require 12 supply. So if you have 28 on 40, you produce 12 supply, you're 40-40, you have no space for the gargoyles. And here's the thing, right? I know that on this map, what you see Tasteless is doing, right? What we talked over was going aggressive to the Nightelf, but one thing is just initially being aggressive towards his base to look for some, I know, Moonwell deny, maybe some wisp kills, but overall we want to take control on what is happening on this side of the map, right? What is Nightelf doing? We have no information, we have no scouting, and we're aiming to kill archers, right? And even Tasteless, he saw the archers. We have aura. We've got to use that aura. This is our early game advantage. We can chase away archers. We have better movement speed. We can deal some damage. So the correct play here was not to go to the base, but go this path. Look for Nightelf. We not only confirmed that his archers moved here for this creep, and we could cut him on creepjack. One archer is ensnared. But even abstracting from this scenario, if this is not happening, right? Let's say there's no Nightelf. He's here. We still creepjack him, right? We want to prevent Nightelf being greedy, aggressive. I mean, a decent Nightelf could actually minimize the losses when you go to the base. We'll just deal some damage to the buildings, maybe kill 1-2 wisps, but that's not enough. We would probably deal much more damage catching Nightelf off guard on some kind of creepjack. So here we have to take control of his side of the map, look for him, kill archers, deny greedy creeping, and deny potential expansion. This is what we want to achieve. We want to slow down the greediness of Nightelf. So also, the first thing we do when we actually tech, right? And this is another thing that Tasteless always forgets. He either forgets crypt, graveyard, or ziggurat. And the 3 buildings that we want to make while we tech, after we tech, because the order is this: we tech at 2230 supply. We add 2 additional ghouls for 2630 supply, and the first step is we put graveyard, we put crypt, and we put ziggurat. We want double crypt, we want 40 supply ziggurat, and we start banking gold. With correct gameplay, we should finish tier 2 tech at 500 approximately gold, 400-500, so you have enough gold to queue up 2 gargoyles, get a skull, and start expanding. So this is what should be done in this scenario. But let's see what is happening, right? Tasteless goes, and it's correct, right? This Ancient of War is whatever, we don't care. This Nightelf is probably thinking, oh, this guy is rushing me, right? But the split damage. We want to split damage and coil. Coil, use mana. We need to one ghoul. Should be saved. Second ghoul. Probably should be saved as well. That's good, right? One archer goes down. Second archer will go down. Third will go down. And when this happens, just go for archers. And if Nightelf goes to base, run away as well. We achieved our goal. We already killed 3 archers. That's huge value. That's huge value. Don't be greedy. We only want to slow down the opponent. So he goes for the archers, but keep chasing. And this will cost him a lot. In this case, I think. So he goes, we're gonna speed up a little. Obviously, behind we don't have graveyard, but I want to focus on what is the correct decision making. And look, again, we're not using coils. A lot of ghouls will go down. 1 ghoul, right? 2 ghouls. 3 ghouls. There's just too many losses. We lost 4 ghouls, I think, total on that push. That's not good. Even though we killed a lot of archers, that's also a lot of losses on our side. And we just want to slow down the Nightelf. Kill some archers, don't overcommit. If he hides in the base, just run away. That's fine, that's fine. Just look for expansion, maybe creep something, right? Aggressively on his side of the map. Don't overcommit. That's the mistake. That's the mistake in that case. So yeah. And now, what's the plan for the mid game, right? And we're gonna talk about correct scenario and the scenario that we are having right now. The correct scenario would be that we have graveyard, we can produce double gargoyles, we have 40 supply, and we can, after this, we can take gargoyles, help ourselves creep the expansion and go for the harass, because the strategy is to pin down Nightelf in the base. So Nightelf is put in a choice, right? Do I push Undead who is expanding, or do I defend my base, right? And if in one scenario Nightelf says, okay, screw my base, I'm going aggro all in to stop the expansion, we're cool with that. We just back off a little bit and build up the gargoyle number and leave those 2 gargoyles harassing still. He goes back, okay, we go back to expanding, right? We always need to dictate the condition of what is happening and put an uncomfortable choice in front of the Nightelf. And we have to use that into our advantage. That's why we're playing those gargoyles, to control the map and control our opponent in that case. But if we're in this situation that Tasteless is right now, okay, he forgot graveyard, or even let's say he has graveyard, right? But he suffered some losses with ghouls, and he has a huge bank of gold, like 1,000. Okay, we have a bank, use the bank, just get Lich, get that second hero earlier, rebuild 2 ghouls, right? Don't produce gargoyles yet, we need some ghouls, so take 2 ghouls, then gargoyles again, but still expand. We're still in a huge leading position to make expansion. Nightelf also suffered a lot of losses. He has 23 supply. He is delayed with Hunter's Hall. He has tier 2 that he cannot even make use of, right? He's basically, in my opinion, behind in that case. So, what happens? And we just talked over the early game, and now we are going to the, yes, obviously, and Tasteless always. If you don't have Rod as an Undead, right, this should be a habit. When you don't have a Rod and you have money, buy another Rod. Rod is extremely important. You produce 2 additional units. If you're short on ghouls, you always have the ability to summon 2 skeletons and have 2 additional units for defending, creeping, attacking, whatever. You have to have Rod. Don't forget about Rod. It's essential item for Undead forces at any stage of the game, basically, right? So we have some minor mistakes here. Lich is being produced, some ghouls, now should be gargoyles, right? But everything is basically slow. Those ghouls, too much, not necessary, cannibalize, not necessary, no rod still, no acolyte production. For acolyte, this acolyte was not cute. Always, guys, when you see that, right? When you make buildings in a Warcraft 3, and I think this rule applies also to StarCraft 2. Use the shift command. It's always good. Whenever you make a building, shift click on the gold mine. So you don't have to pay attention always to if you forget your acolyte to send back him to the gold mine or not. He'll always go back to the gold mine if you queue up with the shift command this action, right? But still, the strategy is to go tier 2 expansion in a correct gameplay, we are on 70 minute mark, the expansion should be already done, almost done. We should be 1 minute ahead with it, so expansion should be almost done by this point with a correct gameplay, as you saw. But even here, right, we go for creeping. Acolyte is late, is extremely late. Nightelf comes. Yeah, don't forget, you are level 3, level 2 coil, one-shots wisps, right? If not, just one attack from skeleton, one attack from ghoul, one attack from decay, whatever. Anyone has to one attack and then coil, and it's a kill as well, because coil is 100 damage, right? So to prevent the dispel of the blight from sacrificial skull, we don't want to get delayed with it. So if we weren't late with our expansion, Ziggurat would be probably ready with Nerubian, and that aggression from Nightelf would not pose any threat to us. But I'm gonna focus just on the decision making when we set up the expansion and what should be done, because I think also Tasteless is struggling with, okay, I have expansion, well, what now, right? How do I transition from that position into the not passive but some active mid game, and then going smoothly to the late game, preparing your army to basically close up and finish the game, right? So now, when we are setting up expansion, our entire money should be focused on actually setting up this expansion. So yeah, you have gold mine, one ziggurat. When it finishes, or when we have blight, put up two second ziggurat. We need minimum, bare minimum of two ziggurats at expansion, because we want one Nerubian and one spirit tower. One Nerubian is not enough. Nightelf will ignore it. So having at least one additional tower for DPS is actually very important. And this is what is good, what is Tasteless right now doing. He's creeping, so the smooth transition, right? But it is actually a little bit greedy what he's doing. It is extremely greedy. If that was actually a real demon hunter, he would cancel that expansion, and that's a huge blow for Undead, right? So this was done without any vision or information from Tasteless, since he's not harassing with his gargoyles, so he has no vision of what is Nightelf doing, right? So I would actually now first send gargoyles to pin down Nightelf into his base, or have any information, what are his main heroes, what is his army, what he's doing, right? Scout. We need information before we take any actions regarding creeping, because the correct gameplay from this, right, is securing the expansion, and the moment we secure as Undead expansion, this is when we're allowed to start creeping, because expansion is safe, right? So this is the goal. The first goal is always in mid-game, secure your expansion. Once expansion is secured, you can take away your gargoyles from harass, and you need to start creeping, because we need to catch up with levels and start powering and getting objectives from the neutral map, because enemy creeps on the map are also resources, and we cannot leave everything to our opponent. But still, this goes unpunished from the Nightelf. But there is one mistake that Tasteless will do, and that mistake will be harassing with gargoyles. If anything, at this stage, the only thing that Tasteless should do, because he's still setting up his expansion, is just scout for Nightelf. Confirm where he is, because there are two gameplays. There is like passive and active gameplay. And active gameplay would be taking your gargoyles, scouting for your opponent, and getting the creep jack. You have level 3 decay, you have level 1 lich, you have some mana, you can come coil nova archer, you can coil nova hero, you have gargoyles, you have mobility, you can hit and run your opponent, take his objectives aggressively, and imagine if he actually made a movement from this to this, that's GG, that's over. We are 9 minutes, no expansion is into the game, is just over. It's basically over right here, right now. But if you're choosing for a passive one, focus on creeping, don't split your army. If you're done with harassing, if your expansion is up, you don't want to be active on the map, you're kind of too afraid of that. It requires some multitasking, right? Because you need to macro in the back as well, to not overbank your money or not be behind on production. then play passively. Take your army, creep shop, right? Go back, creep mercenary camp, go back, I know, creep red camp. Just start creeping, just creep your side of the map and play safe. You have expansion, you have advantage, the pressure is on your opponent, period. And still, Tasteless has huge advantage. But yeah, as said, there's a problem of deciding what do I do now, right? So let's even see another mistake from macro perspective that Tasteless is doing a lot. He's always forgetting to go tier 3 when he's done with his objective on tier 2. And it's a common case even when he's playing Cryptlord expansion. He overstays on tier 2. So even when we look, right? I'm gonna stay here for a long because this harass is not needed. That should not be happening. Him creeping should be happening at this moment. But even when he finishes Acolyte, we're just gonna see on the macro side, right? So he's making Acolytes 3, 4, 5, so he's over making Acolytes, he's not counting them down. So this should be a cancel, he has already enough gold, cancel and tier 3, immediately tier 3. Units production, not needed. Ghouls, you have 3 ghouls, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ghouls with your main army. Remember, guys, when we have expansion with Undead, you need a minimum of 4 ghouls to wood, so count this down. You need to send back 1 ghoul, those ghouls are not needed, that's not the army we're producing to win that game, that's not our win condition, but again, those gargoyles should not be harassing, and now let's count down. It's minute 10:25, right? When are we gonna tech to tier 3? Slaughterhouse, never build them before tier 3, never. So this is a mistake, we should be teching, so let's wait. We're waiting. Okay, so it took 45 seconds to start tier 3 and 2 slaughterhouses. So the correct play is to immediately, and upgrades, this is not needed. Unholy Strength for melee units is not needed. Because the composition we're aiming for with this strat, and this strat allows you to play 3 strategies. It allows you to play mass gargoyles with worms and destroyers, it allows you to play mass A-bombs, it allows you to play mass ghouls, right? But the easiest strat at this level is just to go mass A-bombs. And whenever you go A-bombs are not DPS units, they're tank units. You want them to be tankiness. You want them to be tanky, right? So you need to upgrade armor, not attack for melee units. Because attack should go to the range units, because who will be dealing damage? Fiends will be dealing damage, destroyers will be dealing damage, not A-bombs. So A-bombs, armor, range units, attack. This upgrade is wrong. And slaughterhouses are also wrong, because you want to do slaughterhouses when you start tier 3, because the timing is that when you start teching, and you actually put your slaughterhouses, before tier 3 finishes, you will be able to produce at least 2 statues. Because otherwise, there's nothing else you can produce on tier 2. You need tier 3 for destroyers, you need tier 3 for A-bombs, so you will have 2 buildings that do nothing for some time. Until you get tier 3, obviously, right? Until that moment. So still, what should be this army be doing right now is creeping, but for creeping, you need gargoyles and you need vision. So Merc Camp, free creeping, Turtles, free creeping, Shop, free creeping, Red Camp, free creeping. Those camps should be already crept at this point. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. And from this point on, oh, this is a gift basically for Tasteless, Coil Nova. And this actually is a good move from Tasteless because a little bit late, obviously it was late, but he started being proactive on the map, right? So he went aggressive a little bit just to check out what is happening. In a normal scenario, this should be already crept by Tasteless because if he controls the vision with gargoyles, he can steal this, right? This is enemy shop, steal it, go back. We don't have to go this much aggressive to search for Coil Nova. This actually worked out. This happened. That was a mistake from the opponent. We took it. That's fine, right? But still, this is not a correct win condition for us and not a correct gameplay to win a game. This is just thriving on a mistake from your opponent. But again, we're talking now on the mid game, and mid game should be creeping because our win condition is getting tier 3 and it's getting our power spikes. And our power spikes are what? It's orb for Lich, it's destroyers for Dispel, it's statues, it's A-bombs, it's basically the army we want to fight this game with. And right now, yeah, statues are being produced, upgrades, okay, one for armor, but the attack is made, it shouldn't be made. Gargoyles are lost, but that's a micro mistake. There are 3 ghouls on 2 wood, that's a minor mistake. There is some bank, but if actually this game was played properly on macro, he would be short on wood with triple ghoul. For sure would be short on wood. If the upgrades came, all the upgrades for Disease Cloud, Hero, Tech, units, everything in the correct way, 3 ghouls is just not enough to sustain the economy with the double gold mine and just so much tech going on right now and upgrades. So more teching, that's fine. And another thing that happens. I know that Tasteless is doing third hero as a habit to play, but against Nightelf it's not necessarily needed. I think I personally would skip a third hero since we're going for a kill anyways, right? So I guess there's more value from having this one additional A-bomb rather than having a level 1 hero, to be honest. But on this level, a lot of mistakes happen, and what carries you at the end of the day is just the level of the heroes. So probably having the third hero is a safer and probably more correct way, considering mistakes will happen, right? And then we need hero levels to carry the game for us. So the macro begins, we get some fiends, we get some upgrades, destroyer form, we get disease clouds, that's good, that's fine. We want actually to get those upgrades before we start A-bomb production, right? Because we want to have units last, upgrades first. They take some time, and yeah, let's see what happens. There's a hero produced, right? We want more upgrades, which are not being made. Creeping, a little bit late, but still fine. Again, one thing that Tasteless is not paying attention to is item swapping and item management. You want your DPS items on Lich. You want always 1 mana on DK, because DK is coil heavy, mana dependent, right? So you want to have something that will replenish, in a way, his mana. So in this case would be probably Mana Stone, since it gives passive 25% regeneration, but I know that Tasteless might not be aware of every single unit and its mechanic in the game, so it's okay, but at least have that 1 mana item on a hero that is using a lot of mana with coils in case of DK. And we've got A-bomb production. So we're gonna see, when do we actually attack right now, right? This is the million-dollar question. When do we attack? We attack when we're ready with our army. And what is required for our army to be ready? First, we need 80 supply. Secondly, we need invulnerability potion, and we need heal scrolls from the shop. That's why getting this shop this late is a mistake, because this should be an early objective for us, and we should be start buying heal scrolls and invulnerability potions the moment they're available, and they're available from after the first night, right? So the moment there's a day after the night, just go to the shop, start buying those items, and start resetting the cooldowns on them, because the second shop is on the enemy, and this will be probably contested by him, and he might buy the items on his own, and you might be then cut short on them, right? So you want to pay attention to that as well. So yeah, he went for TP, and yeah, also one thing that I forgot to mention in the mid game is actually getting a TP. Since we're selling in all of the matchups TP, in early game we need to rebuy the TP as soon as it's available, and it's available on tier 2, but in this case we want to rebuy TP when we're done with teching and making double slaughterhouse, because we need money, unless you have a bank, right? And you miss macro, but with perfect macro you won't have enough gold to actually rebuy TP that early. And yeah, what happens then? We get army, right? And we're getting ready to push, but we're not ready. We have no heal scrolls, we have no invulnerability potion, and what is important, we did not creep the red camp. We didn't creep everything. Red camp is so important. That's the hardest creep that gives the best item on the map. We have to have this. We have to remember, and that should be done in the mid game when we had the creeping phase. But even here, let's see if the army preparation is correct, right? So okay, army is split, and this is also one thing that I don't like that Tasteless is doing, and how he's pathing his units. And I don't think that this can be fixed. I guess it takes some skill and a lot of experience. Whenever you're moving on the map, never do it like this. Never go in this straight line. Like, look how stretched it is, right? And this unit is not affected by aura. This unit, no aura. This unit, no aura. Because DK is here, and half units are just late. Always keep your units together in a, not a snowball, right? But just together formation, just squeezed a little bit, you know, but together, so the aura is affecting everyone. And you know, imagine you start the fight here, right? You start a fight with this army, but this army is missing for a fight, right? So you're having 80 supply, but effectively you're fighting with half of your army for approximately, I don't know, 5 seconds, right, or less. But this initial damage you're taking with just half of the army, and half is just not there to help you. So this is just not being prepared for a fight, especially because we have here, what, 76 supply, and we have 2 statues, 4 fiends, 1 statue in production, 1 too many acolytes, so a lot of dead supply. We need destroyer, guys. You cannot fight Nightelf with a destroyer. Destroyer is the single most important unit against Nightelf. Fighting Nightelf with a destroyer is it's painful. It's painful, basically. So yeah, army getting ready, catching up. And the question would be, do we actually have to attack, right? Do we have to attack? We could, but in my opinion, this army is not ready for attack. Take advantage. Take advantage of 2 facts. You have scout. You did scout. There is no expansion, right? You see there's no expansion. Take advantage of your powerful army. Creep enemy red spot. Creep your own red spot. Imagine, just creeping those 2 spots would give level 5, level 2, and level 4. I mean, heroes would be more powerful. Why not take it? That's advantage. Having more powerful heroes is actually an advantage in this game. This game is also about the map. This is not like StarCraft, where you can just, I know, take your expansions, be on free base, you're happy, and you can just turtle right now. You have creeps. Creeps give advantage. There are a lot of the games where one side has expansion, but no control over the map. The second side has 1 base, crept the entire map, and has an advantage, even though he doesn't have expansion. Why he has advantage? Because he has higher hero levels, he has better items. The heroes alone are really powerful, so you need to take care of that. Units alone don't win games in that game. Units alone in Warcraft 3 don't win games. It's not StarCraft. Some heroes are worth more than entire army you can produce. They can deal so much damage. So yes, this was not prepared attack. He did move back though for the red camp, so this is good. I thought that at this moment he would go for that, but this is the correct play. Getting this is the correct play, right? We're creeping that. It's really good. And he actually should take his own, but you see, Nightelf is only taking this camp because Tasteless did not take it before, and it should be done. This should be done. Medallion of Courage. Yeah, good items overall. Almost level 5. Getting the shop. Yeah, everything is a little bit too late. Like, everything is just late because it's not planned. It's just, you know, I finish one thing, okay, what do I do now, right? You have to plan ahead. And it comes with experience, right? I'm maybe now picky, right? A little bit too much. But here, yeah, right, I'm trying to give the full analysis of what should be the correct play overall. Yeah, item not picked up, potion of invulnerability, 15 seconds of invulnerability, that's huge. Yeah, heal scrolls, you have to split them on heroes. Remember, items share cooldowns, right? So if you have 2 of the same, you use 1 heal scroll, this one has cooldown. This hero, that won't have cooldown on that item, so you have to split the items. You're losing the value, right? But we are banking, get 100 supply. We have so much gold that we can break to 100 supply. Don't be afraid of that, guys, if you're kind of off with macro, right? And here what happens. Yeah, this actually fight is good for Tasteless because there is a choke point, but enemy, he has what? He has 70 supply. That's a big army. Even though we have expansion the entire game, we're only up 8 supply, enemy is 4-3, nice items, just missing heal scrolls, right? He has 0 to upgrades. Look, this guy has 2 armor upgrades. He knows, right? He knows his melee units needs armor. Here, Abrams only 1-1, so this is not good, right? And also missing Destroyers. Destroyers is the main counter, the main counter against bears. You cannot fight bears alone with fiends, alone with ghouls, alone with Abrams. You need Destroyers or you will suffer some losses. And this fight is only won because of the choke point. Otherwise, if this would be like open area, I think Tasteless loses this battle, to be honest. I think he loses that battle. He only wins because of the choke point. He only wins that fight because of the choke point. Yeah, Destroyers a little bit too late, and you need to micro this. You need to micro. They're targeting Archer. Okay, now Bear, but everything is kind of late, right? You have to micro with your Destroyers. Also, you need to reposition units, right? Look, A-bomb is being blocked, right? Move back your fiends. Allow A-bomb to come in front. You have to micromanage your army. I know it's... Someone would say like, oh, it's A-move micro, but not in Warcraft. You have to position your army constantly. You have to target fire. You have to extract as much value from the units as possible in that game. There's no other way to play this. 2000 gold. Yeah, it's huge advantage. Huge advantage. But only because I think... even with all those mistakes, I think the passiveness in mid-game allowed Nightelf to come back to the game, basically. And this choke point, obviously, right? The choke point helped enormously with that fight. I think in an open fight, that would be anyone's game. With good micro, I think Nightelf wins that battle. And this is actually good positioning, right? Attacking from the side, I guess attacking from the front... I don't think you want to attack from the side where there are moonwells, right? Because imagine you're attacking from this side and he has moonwells to heal up really close. So attacking from a side, another choke point, no moonwells close, that's good. You deal some damage. You don't want to go inside too much, right? You destroy some buildings, can back off, we're ahead, right? Set up another expansion, get more army, break that 80 supply, get 100. We have 2000 gold. Come on, 2 more ziggurats, 100 supply, easy win. That's how you play. Yeah, this pull, underused. And have to kite, We have range units, we have aura. And that is all about mobility. The aura has to be utilized. It has to be. And that is all about micro. You have aura, mobility, coil nova, spell timings. You cannot just A move and see what happens. In StarCraft, the fights are much faster, right? They happen with some short time, but here they're much longer. You have to actually micromanage your units. Target this, go back here. Nice coil nova here, but Lich really hurt. Yeah, you see, just back off, coil again. A little messy game, I have to say. But you know, every game is thriving on the enemy mistakes. Enemy makes mistakes, we take it, right? Enemy makes a mistake and we take it. And yeah. So this is basically the entire game from Tasteless side. And there's a lot of place for improvement. Yeah, we're just gonna speed up. Speed up, yeah, and this will be GG. 1 base from Nightelf, no chance of winning that game. Heroes back. Yeah, the Red Lord did not use a single item. Item management, another aspect that has to be improved, is really important. Yeah, level 6. Desperate attack move from Nightelf, but that's not enough. Not enough. So this will be GG shortly. Yeah, GG. So what is the takeaway from this game? There's a lot of improvement in the early and mid game, especially because how you play early game, how you transition from early to mid game, paves entire way to the victory. If you screw up in early game, you're late with your mid game, you're late with your late game, right? It just piles up. So I hope that this will actually bring some more insight to how the Undead vs Nightelf should be approached for Tasteless especially, and how a strategy execution looks like, and how adjusting your movement on a map looks like as well. Because one thing to never forget are creeps, and creeps dictate a lot of movement from either side, because you cannot be passive, because if you're passive, someone else will use that, take your creeps, and get advantage from that, because taking expansion is not automatically winning the game, right? You can still win a game without expansion, but just taking control of the map. And yep, that's it.